arts news now, Nick, and this will be devastating to Donald Trump. He has lost Salman Rushdie.
Yes, his biggest fan says, Salman Rushdie, unleash Donald Trump, will drive me back to Britain. This is quite shocking. In his memoir, Knife, Meditations After an Attempted Murder, he says that a return for the former US president scares him more than the attack that almost killed him. At least that's the way the Times are phrasing him. That's not a direct quote, it seems, but there are direct quotes. When he talks about choosing between a post-Brexit Britain and a second Trump presidency, he calls it choosing the lesser of two evils, but one evil, meaning Britain, has my family in it. So it's kind of the liberal mindset that's so extreme that you know, it doesn't matter what happens to you, you still sort of side with liberal, because you could argue, of course, that liberalism allows things like the attacks that happen on. Now, you could argue, of course, the British government protected him for 10 years. Maybe he has kind of ties in the sort of neoliberal world. He maybe in the Bush world and Clinton, maybe sort of anti-Trump for those reasons. But it did seem incredibly strange.
Especially considering, I mean, his glory years when he was in the same set as Martin Amis and Christopher Hitchens and Ian McEwan. They were all the bright young things of the London literary scene. That was under Thatcher's Britain. I mean, maybe we were still in the EU or whatever it was called at that point, but it was definitely harder right, more divisive, more brutal to community and so on. It was undergoing a more vicious neoliberal revolution than anything that's happened under Rishi Sunak, or is certainly going to happen under Keir Starmer.
Or any of the communists that we've had.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
It shows like Nick was saying, it shows the sort of insane ideology of the left. That, this guy's been hunted by Islamists, since the fatwa was imposed on him.
Which, if anything, is one thing that Britain does have a lot more of now, of course. Maybe he doesn't want to say that, but he's saying it's post-Brexit.
Yeah, I don't know if he's trying to, cozy up to his attackers to try and stop another attack.
It's tricky, because you could argue as well that Trump's sort of isolationist policies are less likely to lead to retribution, than many others. So there's different ways you could argue it. Which I'm saying that makes the same point again. But there's this strange idea that Trump's going to be much worse when he's unleashed. I don't believe this idea that Trump... I'd love it, but I don't believe this idea that Trump's going to be unleashed in his second term, just be able to do what he wants. So I think people like Rushdie, he's got reason to be paranoid about some things, not so much about Trump.
Do you know what, though? Trump, I mean, he is absolutely the demographic that found Trump a real shock, like a personal outrage, an affront, like De Niro clearly did, you know, because they regarded themselves as being... part of the liberal elite is one way of talking about it, but actually they really thought they were like the figureheads of America. Everyone loved them. They were what Americans were proud of. And suddenly Americans went, no, we find you a bit annoying. We want this guy. Anyway,